The truth is out there, and it begins with you. Welcome to the Cosmic Fold, where we talk high strangeness. Call us at 928-288-2942. That's 928-288-2942. Or join us by video. If you're at a computer, just look for the link in the chat. Buckle up, sit around our virtual campfire, and let's get started.
If you've ever had a strange experience, a vivid dream, a powerful image, a sense of presence, a moment that felt loaded with meaning, you're not broken, you're not alone, and you're not automatically a prophet. Congratulations, you have a human brain. And tonight, we're going to take a look at a handful of so-called prophecies buzzing around the internet for the years 2026 through 2030. But before we decide whether any of them deserve attention, we need to slow down and talk about what visions and prophecies actually are, how they differ, and why normal human experiences so often get repackaged as end-of-the-world announcements. A vision is an experience. Psychologically speaking, it's a vivid mental event. Images, symbols, voices, or a strong sense of presence that feels perceptual, even though it's generated internally. These experiences show up most often right as you're falling asleep or waking up, during grief or emotional shock or under stress, exhaustion, fasting, or deep meditation. In these states, the brain's prediction system loosens its grip. Memory, imagination, and emotion bleed into perception, and suddenly, something appears. Here's the key point. A vision doesn't arrive with instructions. It doesn't demand followers. It doesn't schedule an apocalypse. It just happens. Meaning comes later, through reflection, culture, and interpretation. A prophecy, on the other hand, is not an experience, it's an announcement. Prophecy is a social act. It's someone saying, I know what's coming, and this is what it means for all of us. Sociologists point out that prophecy organizes people. It creates urgency. It draws lines between who sees and who doesn't. It tells people what to fear, what to do, and who to follow. Many prophecies start with visions, but they don't stay there. They get interpreted, edited, simplified, and broadcast. Once a message starts requiring fear, loyalty, money, or obedience, it's no longer just psychology, it's power. Now let's talk about the doom. Ever notice how few prophecies say, things will be complicated, uneven, and kind of annoying, but mostly survivable? Psychology gives us one reason. Humans are wired to take threats more seriously than good news. Bad information sticks harder, feels more urgent, feels more real. Game theory adds another layer. If someone warns you about disaster and they're wrong, you worried too much. If they're right and you ignored it, the consequences are enormous. So, fear becomes an extremely efficient motivator. That's why doom-heavy prophecies spread faster, bind groups tighter, and demand action more effectively than hopeful ones. Apocalypse is a powerful coordination tool. But here's an important nuance. Some people, including people we know personally, seem to have recurring, dark, but disturbingly accurate anticipatory insights. They don't predict lottery numbers. They don't announce dates for the end of the world. They notice patterns, pressures, trajectories, and they speak up early. So how do we tell the difference between a warning and a prophecy? First, does the message invite reflection, or does it demand obedience? Warnings say, pay attention. Prophecies say, do not question. Second, Is there humility about uncertainty? Credible warning-style messengers leave room for being wrong. They don't collapse the future into absolute certainty. And third, is there recruitment? The moment an experience needs followers, money, secrecy, or fear to function, it has crossed from insight into influence. Dark subject matter alone does not invalidate a warning, but certainty, control, and exploitation should always raise red flags. Here's the cosmic fold bottom line. Having a strange or intense experience doesn't make you enlightened or delusional. It makes you human. What matters is what happens next. Curiosity or certainty, reflection or recruitment, awareness or manipulation. The universe is already weird enough. We don't need to rush to crown every vivid moment as a prophecy, or dismiss it as nothing. Sometimes the most interesting question isn't, was it real? It's what did my mind, my culture, and my moment in history help me notice? Welcome to the fold.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I think people get these things mixed up. What I, kind of see is that religious groups, cults, they say, oh, this is a prophecy, do not question, and it's very fear-driven. But the most accurate person I have ever met in my life is you, Denise, as far as tuning into things, and with the humility and that, and those are warnings. You don't demand followers. You don't demand worship. You don't demand that everybody do, as you say. And the very first little thing was what I went through Sunday, which is very difficult to create on AI. But that was a vision, I think, as opposed to, and so whatever happens, you didn't know, Bove did know Saturday. I mean, I got so tired Saturday, I couldn't function. So I had to call off the show. It was just like I thought I was going to pass out. I just couldn't.
Wow.
So I went to bed, and then, hey, Joy. And so Sunday, or maybe it was, I don't even know what day this was. I dreamt or had this experience that I had a heart attack in the office. I was working.
Wow.
And left the body, and I've had a couple of these where I died in the visions. And
Right,
all of a sudden when I went out, it was confusing at first until I realized, oh, I'm dead and I'm a spirit now. And so going out in this little town where I am here, all of a sudden it was like all the people were like multiracial. There were no like straight white people, no straight. We have a lot of like Latinos here and Indians and white people. There was like no strict race. Everybody was melded together in this like scene. And I'm looking at the town, and everybody was using horses. And my building was still standing, which is next to my office. And it had been renovated, and there was like this big shrine in there to this purple flower. And everywhere I went, there was like this purple flower. And I don't know what that means. But it was like a thing. You know how some people have flags? This was this purple flower, and some of them were like in these shrine things, and some of it wasn't. And they were renovating my building. There was like this big thing about communal cooking. Everybody like ate together in the village, and they would bring what they were able to grow. And because there was something wrong with the air, and so everyone had greenhouses, and the sun was sort of muted. And they would bring this stuff to from the greenhouses and share in resources to be able to cook together. And there were a couple things worth their weight in gold. Number one was horses. There was like no cars, nothing like that going around in this vision. And they had found this journal that I had been writing. And they had found it as they were renovating my building, and that was like priceless to them because it was like this message. So I was like somewhere in the future, I don't know when it was, but it was in the future because it was definitely my building. And then Dylan's building and Kathy's right next to it. They had pretty much finished renovating that, and there was this big purple flower shrine thing in there too.
Wow.
And they had a bunch of stoves, and then they were putting like big sinks in there because everyone did the laundry together and collected
Wow.
water. It was very interesting, and I was like, wow. And nobody, knew I was there because I was like in spirit form.
Sure.
And so, then you know how it is when you're in spirit form, you could just like travel real fast. You don't have to
Yeah.
think about it. And I thought,
Right.
wow, this is really weird. Where else? And so all of a sudden I was like, went to all these little like villages that were all high altitude. And they were all
Mhm.
doing the same thing. They had like these purple flowers. It was some kind of thing. And living the same way. And it was like the old stone buildings, what were there. And then all housing was like just a single, just one story.
Right.
It was just so strange. So anyway, I'm going around through all of this. And you know how it ended. And I'm sorry to bother you, Denise, but it was kind of like, so I go, I said, okay, source, universe, take me to wherever I need to be. And it was like nobody was listening. And I
Huh.
thought, well, that's kind of weird. Well, higher self, can you take me to where, because I had this feeling I wasn't supposed to be there. I was there
Interesting.
to observe, but not, that wasn't my
Right.
place. And
Right. Right.
so, and I noticed that, and so I concentrated on the sun, the light of this, and the sun was very like muted. It wasn't as bright as it is now. And
Hmm.
there was something like hazy about and where I saw everybody was living were all these high altitude areas. And there was like this one area I went to that was like, you could see, those old mining buildings, there was like a big tall mining building and they had changed that whole thing. It was like real art deco and people were living in it. And it was just very strange. So anyway, how it ended, it was, those kinds of experiences that are so real, you don't
Yeah.
realize that you're. And
Yeah.
finally, I thought, you know what? Sorry to bother you, Denise, but if anyone knows how to navigate this stuff, it's you. So I did
Right.
that thought consciousness throwing thing that we were all doing. And I said,
Oh,
Denise, how
good.
do you get around through here? And all of a sudden, bam, I literally, like my near death experience went back into the body where it
Wow.
literally popped back. So it was like a near death experience vision thing that I
Wow.
had. And then I thought, wow, this is really weird. And when I came to, I was like really sweaty. So I took my temperature and I was 103.
Oh my
So
gosh.
whatever
Son
that
of a
was,
bitch.
yeah, so
Wow.
that's why I had to cancel Saturday because I was just like
Wow.
so out of it. I
Really
think it
sick.
was, and so for
Yeah.
me, visions and stuff seem to happen like with real high fevers, like when I had
Sure.
COVID,
Yeah.
or like near death experiences or stuff like that. But it was crazy. But
Wow.
you said something about the muted sky. Have you seen a vision like that?
So weird that you even had that because like yesterday I was going through a bunch of my old journals of dreams I had. Now, I can't keep track of all the information I get, and sometimes I
Right.
don't, which is natural acid trip. You know.
Yeah, I wrote 4 pages of single
Yeah,
pages of notes. It
good.
was so intense. Yeah.
That's good because I found that if I don't write it down, then I only remember parts of it, and it's not totally full spectrum. You don't get everything. So I was looking through because I was going to write a Substack piece about some of the older things that I had not really covered on Substack. And I found a dream, like one of those kind of out of body experience dreams, which was about the whole world being covered in ash and the sky being like all, the light was dim. And I've had that in meditation, but I didn't remember the dream because I had it like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of, whatever, wrote it down, didn't think about it. But in subsequent meditations we did in a psychic class, I've seen it over and over again. Like the sky is covered. And I don't know if it's a volcanic thing or if it's a nuclear fallout, nuclear winter, or some sort. I can't tell, but I've seen it over and over again. There's some kind of
Yeah.
shift, you know what I mean, that's coming, and it seems to be related to
And
the
to the
sky.
point, like they had to have like whatever this was that I
Right,
saw have greenhouses so that the plants could
right,
stay healthy.
right,
And and I just thought of this. The greenhouses were all attached to the people's houses, so that produces natural oxygen and stuff like
right.
that too.
That's
So I
smart.
wonder if maybe it was a purification. I don't know, but it was wild, whatever this. I mean, I've had them before, but to have this so recently, it's just, I'm still like half there, kind of.
Right,
How
right.
when you have those, they're like in your aura for about a week or two.
So you had this happen on Saturday? Is that what you said?
It was either Saturday or Sunday. I have no idea. I was so feverish that I just completely lost whatever
You know what's
time.
weird is I had a spontaneous out of body experience that night too. And I was like, I couldn't tell. I don't know why. It was like all of a sudden I popped out of my body and I was flying all around. And that's weird because I mean, that doesn't normally I have to kind of try a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I started having a bunch of them, right? Like starting on Friday and Saturday, having these out of body experiences. And I had, one of them was the piece I remember the most. I wrote some of it down. I didn't, because it's happening at 3 a.m. I'd wake up and I'm like really tired. I didn't write everything down, but the thing that's stuck with me at the end of this out of body experience was I came up through the bay in San Francisco, and I was in Northern California, and I was standing with a group of people, and we were looking south, and we saw these nuclear explosions. It looked like, hey, Helen.
He's here.
I scared myself.
You did.
Yeah,
I go through that every day doing my hair. Welcome
kind
to
of
the
shock.
fold.
Thank you. Sorry,
We were
to
talking. No,
It's
we were
okay.
talking about visions and then prophecy versus warning and that kind of stuff. And Denise and I seem to have had out of body experiences around the same time. So
the
she's,
same day, actually.
yeah.
So it's weird that you said my name, and because I did have a spontaneous out of body experience that same exact day that you had that experience.
Lately?
Yes, this
This
week.
Saturday.
Yeah,
when I
I had,
texted you
Past
guys and I
Saturday.
said, was that when it
You
was?
did both?
no,
Not me.
me and Deborah did.
Not me.
Remember
Deborah?
when I texted you and I said, has anyone
didn't
had an experience where they're dead and then they're a ghost and going through? I mean,
that
it was
dream,
intense.
no. I never leave the house.
When you're out of body.
Or in body. I never leave the house. I've never had an out of body experience. Well,
You
I
haven't?
wouldn't say that. I would say that when I'm asleep, strange things happen.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah, astral travel. Yeah, I mean, so the first one was, God, I wish I had my journals. I have it upstairs because I can't remember everything because, like I said, I have too many things happen. I can't always remember all of them. But I remember the first one. I was falling. I fell asleep, and then all of a sudden I jumped out of my body, and started dancing around, and I was like flying everywhere, and went to all these different places. I don't even remember what happened in that one. I don't remember what day that. I think that might have been on a Friday, or that might have been Saturday. I don't remember, but I had like 3 of these experiences in the last week where I popped out of my body, and I wasn't trying to do that. It just happened spontaneously. So the second one was the one where the nuclear explosions were happening, and they were far, far away. So they looked like little tiny pink mushroom clouds because they were like hundreds of miles away. And
Well, were they to your west?
No, they were to the south.
Oh,
They
good.
were to the south. They were the south. No, they were. I was in San Francisco Bay Area, so they were Southern California. There were 6 of them, and they were like pink. They looked like pink clouds, but you
Would they
could tell.
come in through cargo ships?
I don't know. I couldn't tell what.
I've had a
none
weird
of us-
feeling about cargo.
None
Well,
of us knew.
in California, you know that book, Nuclear War? One of the first places that would go off would be El Diablo Nuclear Facility on the coast of California, right above Santa Barbara.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that. So I didn't know. We were all standing around going, "What the hell? Like, is that really like mushroom clouds?" And nobody knew. And then as we were trying to figure it out, we saw this military vehicle that was loaded with an atomic bomb. And then the weirdest thing was, like, the next day, I have a client of mine who's a physicist, and she was working on a project, and she showed me the company she was doing some work for, and actually front page of was this fucking vehicle and it's
Yeah.
an AI vehicle. It doesn't have a driver. And I was like, this is so weird. And so in the dream, I knew it was a nuke, and everybody started running once we saw the vehicle pull up and sort of get into position. And I took,
because you're going to outrun the nuke.
no, I was out
Yeah.
of body. I went back to my body,
Okay.
instantly. But everybody was like, ah, and started scattering, trying to figure out what to do. Got freaked out. So I kind of took out over the ocean and then went back to my body. But the last one I had was really fucking weird. The last out of body experience, which I think might have been on the day that you had yours, actually, I think that was the last one on Saturday, was I came out of my body. I was flying around. I had an angel behind me.
Oh, that is insane. Yes. The audience will like this. You told, yes, this is good.
So this angel was like, I'm like, what's going on? So like, can we go see the creator? And so, can we still go see God? And so we went through the space. We went like through all the galaxies and all, it was like crazy, really fast. And then we're all of a sudden in this space. It was some kind of, astral plane area, right? So, I mean, it's not like, there's multiple places on the astral plane, but this was one of them. And it was, I think, the God of the Christians is what I could say. It was the God of the Christian God. And he was laying on a mattress and he was all gray and he had a gun next to him. And anyway, all the people in this place were horrible people. They were just miserable, awful people. They were just jerks and kind of horrible. And he was thinking about killing himself. He was like, I'm going to shoot myself in the head. I'm like, what in the fuck? This is the weirdest dream I've ever had.
That is so mind-bending to me. That is amazing.
It was so weird. And the stairways were packed with people trying to get in there. And I was like, because I was going to try to leave. And I was like, what the hell? There's thousands of people trying to get in. And then the elevator was broken or something like that. And I was like, and so that's when I was like, okay, when I saw the character God, gray guy with thinking about killing himself, I'm like, oh, this is really strange. And
Things are so bad that God wants to end
to kill himself.
I know, that's why it was like, oh my God.
It's fucking weird.
Oh my God.
It was so weird. And so, honestly, I was kind of taken aback by that one. I think it was a metaphor for just, what's going on with the Christians, you know what I mean? And just
I'm still trying to process it since you mentioned that in your text.
I don't know what,
because I'm still like half in this other world, like I said too. So it's like, and that whole thing, it's like I can see it when you say it. It makes sense in a weird way.
Well, you know what pops into my head the minute you described it, which is going to sound weird. There's a book called Jesus and John Wayne, and it's all about the extreme right-wing image of Jesus as kind of abs and machine guns. And it's almost as though the real creator, the source, is so rejecting those people who have that belief system. That's what it says to me. It's like it's shutting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like God was depressed is what the vibe was. You know what I mean?
Like
it's like, these are supposed to be my people. Yeah. It wasn't purgatory because I don't really believe in that whole thing of heaven and hell, purgatory. It was actually, I think what happens when you transition is there's different spaces. Actually, the guy who I think has the best descriptions of what's the astral plane is like, or the different levels of the astral plane, is Robert Monroe. He spent 40 years documenting out about experiences, and he talks about people being stuck in these belief systems, like loops. They get caught in these belief systems on the other side, in the astral plane. And he said he went to one that was a bunch of cave people, this really weird one where there's some kind of a waterfall, and they believe in this certain thing, and they do these weird rituals. It was like, that makes sense. And that's kind of what this was. It was like a constructed space that, these people have built with their version of a God who is so bummed out by their behavior that he wants to kill himself. It was weird. Can God be? I don't know. I never thought that God could be depressed, but it wasn't God. Okay, it wasn't source. It was a God, and I think that's an important distinction. It's not the
Okay,
creator of all
wasn't the
things. It's a
creator.
God.
What's
Yeah,
this a
like a
science
metaphor
fiction
for-
story?
That you're
Yeah.
not going to
Yes.
get to a source because you have this expectation.
that's right. It's sort of like you
Yeah.
get stuck in your own
Mhm.
looping belief system. But even the being who was sort of what they were worshiping was bummed out by how
Right.
dark people were. And that was kind of the message of the dream.
Yeah.
It was really weird, or whatever, the universe. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. You know that Chinese professor you told me about? I've been listening
Yes.
to this. So,
Isn't he amazing?
yeah, you know what? It's like, it's so crazy because it's like everything he's saying is stuff I've been saying. I mean, intuitively, kind of, putting together pieces. I'm not a game theory person. And and I'm not a scholar of, that period of time or anything, but it's pretty amazing, like how exactly similar it is. The sort of Roman, the paganization and the Roman version
Yep.
of what we have and what Jesus really was are completely different things.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
He's a lot like you. I mean, some of the things
Yeah,
you've
he
said,
really
it's
is.
like the parallel was it's fascinating.
It is.
You know.
It come from totally different places, but it's the same thing. It was really
Yeah.
strange. It's really fascinating. Yeah. I'm
What
listening to
was
it.
that? Wasn't there a sci-fi book? I don't remember if it was Asimov or Bradbury that wrote about people would go to Mars and the Martians were all like empaths, and
Oh.
all these people that they kept wanting to see Jesus, and so the Jesus Mars person that was an empath was constantly being crucified because that was the bombs
Oh,
that they
wow.
were
Oh my
putting out there.
God.
And
Wow.
then, all of this stuff and what you were just saying about this God, character,
Right.
depressed and laying on the mat, it kind of reminds me of that sci-fi book.
Huh. Interesting. I'll have to look for what that is.
So
Yeah,
speaking of Mars and visions,
Yeah.
I think one of the ways you could get visions and insight is through creativity. I'm just convinced of that.
Oh, for sure.
And so back when I was a kid, I don't remember if I was in high school yet or not, but I was writing this science fiction story about, I was believed that there were life forms on Mars that were subterranean and that they existed through photosynthesis. And the teacher was saying, well, that doesn't exist. That's not real, but it's a good story. And so
How would they
anyway,
know if it's true or not? I mean,
just like a day ago, the BBC is reporting down in the Carlsbad Caverns in southern New Mexico, they have now discovered, nobody's looked at this stuff for 49 million years, and there's these organisms way deep into the caves, and guess what they do? They survive by photosynthesis.
right.
Yes!
Wait a minute. How do they do that without the sun?
Without light, yeah.
Well, they're studying it, but it's amazing that, it was like, oh, wow. So that, because that was, how you forget stuff that you wrote or whatever. But I've always just thought, no, things can exist under and
exactly.
survival that way.
I mean, I remember watching Carl Sagan on that Cosmos. Remember back in like the 70s?
Oh, he was so awesome.
I mean, he was like, he's talking about how only life can exist with water. I'm like, you don't know that. I mean, you don't know that. There's all kinds of different, we don't know that's how we live, but
He's talking about carbon-based life.
carbon-based space life. But he thought
Right.
only that was all life had to be carbon-based. There was no exception to that. And I was like, that's stupid. And now they found that, like you said, there's animals in arsenic. Like they find little microorganisms. Speaking of Mars, in the 90s, I started having all these series of dreams. And the weird thing was this, I was in a band then, and the manager of my band started having the same dreams. We were both having the dreams, and we were both in each other's dreams, simultaneous dreams about being colonists on Mars, colonizing Mars. We lived in a colony, and it was so bizarre. she told me about her dream. I'm like, I can't believe you. I mean, and she was in my dream, and I was like, that is fucking weird.
Even remembering thinking of something that's going to happen in the far, far future.
I think we were tuning into some kind of future lifetime is what it felt like. It was like a future life. Yeah.
So I had a precognitive dream.
Okay, let's hear it. Yeah.
Not recently. It's happened a long time ago. It completely freaked me out. So I had this dream about standing on the steps of the Santa Barbara Mission. And the Santa Barbara Mission is, it's the queen of the missions. It's beautiful. And it's facing towards the ocean, but you can't really see the ocean.
Yeah, it's really
far,
pretty.
Right? Yeah. I got married there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to pull a few strings. I had to pretend to be religious.
Yeah.
I was
How
determined.
cool, though.
Yeah, it was beautiful. But in my dream, I was standing on the steps of the mission. That's the important fact. Looking towards the ocean and all these palm trees. So the distances were a bit distorted and stuff. And suddenly, behind this palm tree, this gigantic passenger jet came. And it went down behind the palm tree and crashed.
Wow.
And I woke up. So I was working at a hospital 3 to 11. So that day in the morning, my friend and I, we're still friends, we decided to go to the beach out by the university. And the university is right by the airport.
Yeah.
So we got there and we're lying in the sun, which was really smart, redhead, lying in the sun, and the planes are going overhead. And I finally said to her, I have to get out of here. This is stressing me out. And I told her about my dream, and she laughed at me, and we went home. I was afraid the plane was going to crash into me, and we went to work. We met up again at work, and I'm sitting at the desk, and she came up and she looked a little pale, She says, Helen, have you seen the newspaper? I said, are you kidding me? Busy. She says, well, when you get a chance, go into the nurse's lounge and look at the headlines of the paper. Front page of the paper was my dream.
Right.
Oh my God.
Gigantic airplane crashing.
I
Got a picture of it crashing behind palm trees. And where did it happen? It happened in San Diego. What's San Diego's nickname? The Mission City.
Right. My mom had, when she was like, my mom is completely nutty, but in not great ways, but she also is really she has psychic experiences that she would get so bent out of shape. Which is, I think, why she didn't like me very much, because she was really terrified of psychic stuff. So one of the things that happened was she was really freaked out by this one. She had a couple of things like this, but this one was, she was in Santa Barbara. She was working at this hotel, and she saw the newspaper, and it was all about this girl who had been murdered. She knew the names of the people. She had the names of the people.
Wait, your mother lived in Santa Barbara?
She lived in Santa Barbara, yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so she had the names of the person that was murdered, the name of the guy who murdered her, where it happened, every bit of she read the paper, so she knew all the details. So the next day she goes to work and she's like, did you guys read about that horrible murder of that girl and blah 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 and this kid? And she's saying all the names of the people, and they're like, no, I don't know about that. Then the day after it came out in the newspaper exactly. And
do you remember who it was?
I can't remember. It was her thing. You know what I mean? It happened in the 90s, so I don't remember the details of it. But she had the names of all the people, where it happened, every detail. And she was so freaked out by that. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But like ridiculously so. Do you know what I mean? Like she would, like somebody had killed her or something like that. It was so crazy. I grew up in Santa Barbara. She was terrified of it.
What school did you go to?
You went to
one where they teach that life forms are based on silicon.
It wasn't a Catholic school.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's very plausible, Keith.
I don't
Wow,
know.
Small world.
It is a small world.
It's scary. Bove, are you from Santa Barbara?
No.
My what?
Are you from Santa
You're from
Barbara?
Santa Barbara?
I'm from Jersey. I'm Italian, and I'm from Jersey. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not from Santa Barbara either, but my mom had a thing about wanting to be around rich people. She like kind of had this fetish for rich people, and so she's a crazy person. But anyway, so she moved to Santa Barbara. She used to pronounce it as "I live in Santa Barbara." I was like,
Oh.
I'm like whatever. Yeah, la di da. She's in an apartment in Santa Barbara.
That
But
is hilarious.
yeah, she's a nut. But and like the level of, I can't even describe the level of like how scared she would get about these little things that I mean, that's a big deal. But she had a bad dream about Florida, something terrible happening in Florida, and she was freaking out about it. I'm like, well, maybe it's a hurricane or no, no, no. And then when the whole stealing of the election happened, she's like, that's what it was about. But she freaked out about that dream and talked about it like she was turned white with fear for like years. So she couldn't deal with this kind of stuff. Like she would drink herself to sleep. She was terrified of it. I don't really know why she was so scared of it.
Well, she didn't understand it.
I guess.
Joy
but-
says it's a great experience. Your moms and everyone. So Joy would handle that differently from your
I would
mom,
too,
by
yeah. I mean-
freaking out over it.
I know. I don't know why people freak out about it like that. I mean, I think that's, my mom was, for some weird reason, maybe because she grew up Catholic and she would,
Well,
I don't know.
It's more than that. It's probably how her family talked about
Well,
it.
because my grandmother was psychic, and my great grandmother was like an herbalist and a psychic and stuff, and she was really
But maybe in a past life she was punished for that.
Yeah.
maybe
that's a
I
good
don't
idea.
know. It was so weird though. She was like, it was so irrational. So I don't know, and I think part of the reason she drank all the time was because she was afraid of that kind of happening. You know,
Yeah.
blotto. Just
I don't know. My mother talked to the leprechauns in the trees in Gaelic, so
That's pretty cool. What
that surprises me.
Weird. I like that. I would love your mom. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
you would actually.
Yeah.
So Kathy says
Witch
witch
wound.
wound. What is
Yeah,
it? I
maybe
don't know.
so. That means, like a
Oh,
past
a
life where
witch
she was
wound.
persecuted for being
Okay.
a witch. That makes sense. I should look at her natal chart and see what her nodes are in. But
Yeah.
I can never figure that out. It was like, and so I was like really pushed her buttons, like really bad. And my grandmother did too. She didn't like my grandma.
Oh, that's interesting. Skipping
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
Denise, have you you've heard of a guy called Samuel Pepys?
No.
Okay, so in the, oh my God, I'm so bad with dates, but like the 1600s, and I could be off a little bit. He was a guy in London who kept a diary, and he kept a diary for like decades.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this guy. And
Yeah.
he had a room, like a whole like library full of
Oh
these.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
So here's my offer to you. Leave me your diaries in your will, and I'll get them published.
Okay, they're pretty hard to read. Okay, they're hard to read. I can barely read them myself. My handwriting is terrible. I'll have to type them out.
That's okay. I had a job. That was my job in the hospital for a long time. Was
Deciphering bad handwriting.
translating doctors' handwriting.
That's how my handwriting is.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Yeah. I can't read it myself. I don't know why. And especially when you're sleepy, it's like that. It's even worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Or, like coming out of that thing Saturday for me, when people are older and they're about to die, that their writing gets real small and crunchy.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever noticed that? Because,
No.
Yeah.
everybody I know, that has big, like, loopy writing and stuff, it gets small and squishy. And I can usually tell that's when people are going to pass.
Yeah, you lose it.
Really?
By their handwriting, yeah.
Is that true? I didn't notice that. Wow.
I don't
that's
know.
wild.
I've seen it all the time. And the state lawyers I've talked to, they all say, yeah, you're right.
It's
It always
neurological.
happens.
Really?
So when I wrote down those 4 pages of that experience that I had Saturday,
Was it
I
small
looked
and
back
squishy?
on it, it's just that same scrunchy kind of writing. And
Wow.
It's like, oh, wow. So I probably did go off somewhere.
You really
so-
were sick though.
I'm gonna
103
kick
fever.
your ass. You
That-
stay in that chair.
How old are you?
Stay in that fucking chair. I will hunt your ass down.
Well, I worried at first. I thought, did I get COVID or something? Because COVID gives me those kind of fevers, really
That
bad
is
fevers.
unusual for a person who's over like 20 to get a fever that high. That's dangerously high for an older person.
Oh,
How high was it?
when I had COVID,
103,
my
105?
temperature was like
103.
103.
Oh.
Yeah,
When I had
that's
COVID,
really,
it was going up to 104, 105.
that's,
It
you
was
should have
so
gone to the
bad
hospital. You could
that
have brain
it
damage
was
from that.
so bad that, on your mattress, the little pad thing that you put on that makes it comfortable, I had to throw it out. It was so drenched in sweat and everything.
Oh, man.
That's how it affects me. It's just these insane fevers.
Well, maybe you do have COVID because it's going around
But
right
I
now.
took the test and I don't.
You don't.
And
Oh,
plus,
good.
there's like this energy with COVID that I can feel.
Yes,
I
it's
don't know
weird.
how to explain it. It's got like this dull, weird energy.
I know
don't
exactly
know.
what you're talking about. It has almost like it feels different than a normal
Yeah,
cold.
yeah. So it wasn't that. So who
Yeah.
knows? So I pulled. All right. So I had AI analyze what it could find on the internet and find the most popular things that people are saying for the next 5 years, and you guys
Okay.
get to weigh in.
All right.
Because some of it's a bunch of crap. As we get towards, some of it is not. But anyway, these all have merit scores, because then the next
Okay.
thing I did a whole page of prompts that I made it run through, and then have these prophecies align with academia, science, stuff like that, to see, okay, so how is that? But the merit doesn't reflect whether it's true or not, because you'll see the first one, I think the merit is way off base. So,
Okay.
but anyway, that's what that is. It's like, so if there's been, and then like some of the prophecies or visions or whatever, if they're like famous people, if it's been documented, like in the Smithsonian or like Edgar Casey, a lot of his
Right,
stuff
sure,
has been done.
sure.
So that adds the merit up way higher, because
Right,
it's
right.
actually in writing. But you
Sure.
get to some of these people. Okay, just a second. He says, make sure you take zinc for COVID.
For COVID.
Yes,
That's-
that does. It helps
yeah.
with the lung stuff.
This is
Maybe it
super
was
good.
that.
Hmm.
Whatever it was just an afternoon of weirdness, just fatigue. Well, thank you, Joy.
Well, that happened to me where I got like this really crazy, like I was just sitting there and all of a sudden I started like shaking really uncontrollably. And then my fever spiked like within a minute. It went from normal to 102 in a minute. And I went to the hospital because I was like, what the actual, what is going on? I took a Tylenol. And by the time I got to the hospital, I was okay. And they tested me. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
I don't know
similar.
what it is. It's like some kind of energy thing, because
Uh-huh.
literally it was like that. I was getting ready for a show Saturday, and it was like all of a sudden it's like, I can't function, you guys. I got to call this off. There's just I
Right.
can't do it.
Let me ask
So-
you something. Did you ever have mono?
Yes,
It might be that.
maybe
It comes
I had
back.
it in college.
No offense. It's like herpes. The virus lives on your nerve cells in a kind of a hibernation.
Right.
And it can be triggered by changes in climate or stress or whatever. And
Huh.
you'll get the symptoms of mono, and then it'll go. It's Epstein-Barr. It's a virus, and it
Yeah.
lingers for life.
Right.
Yeah, I got it from the college dorms. Actually, is where I
Wow.
got it.
Yeah, it's okay. They used to call it the kissing disease.
Yeah.
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 So that's a good point. I'm going to look that up, Helen. All right,
Yeah.
so it goes from 2026 on to 2030, and I've got just a couple of, 13 of them. So the big one is Baba Vanga, and she
Right.
says this year a major war begins in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
They only gave it a merit of 210, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's
it's
stupid.
already happening. So I
Yeah,
think
right.
it's because the retelling of her stories. It wasn't like written.
Right.
Where the
We
merit
should
kind of
each
thing
give
went
our
down.
rating.
Right.
Yeah, give your rating,
We
because
should each say what we think. Yeah.
yeah,
I think she's pretty
exactly.
accurate. Yeah,
I
she's
think
pretty,
she is too.
documented to be pretty accurate. Yeah.
Because
So what do you
I
give
mean,
her?
it's already going on. So
It is.
It's
It's,
like,
already
yeah.
started. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, she's right.
So I give her a 12 out of 10.
Yeah, right. She was
there you
right.
go.
100%.
And I think they took the merit down because some of it she did not give exact years, and so posthumously people would try to figure it out and put that in, but
Right.
it seems to be right on to me.
Yeah.
This definitely happening.
Yes.
Okay. So this one I think has some merit too. They only gave it 310. Nostradamus, but I have such a hard time following those quatrains. I don't
I
find
don't
the
really-
meaning that other people
Yeah.
do.
I know. I have a hard time with it too.
Well, I
feel
know
like-
how you. Sorry.
I feel
Go
like
ahead.
those things can be interpreted in so many different ways that it's kind of like gobbledygook. It's sort of like a Rorschach test a little bit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I know how you feel about Dolores Cannon.
yes,
But I will say this. She did a series of books on Nostradamus.
I know. Yes,
And gave like an in English interpretation of what he apparently he told her client.
Right.
And she published it. That's really interesting because she did it in the 80s and 90s, and a lot
Right.
of it came true in the 2010s, and so
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But who
so
knows if
one
it
of
was
the
like
things that
Thomas
people are
or that
putting
one.
out there is 2026, these major solar catastrophes.
I've
And,
heard some to
a
say
lot of us have seen about this Carrington event. Could be
yes.
very possible. So what the picture is up there is off of the USGS website. Because they're kind of sounding the alarms, scientific institutions are too about this,
Yes.
and I mean, a Carrington event, these mass first of all, I have heard, I don't know if it's true, that they also trigger like seismic activity.
Right.
And there's been like this huge swarm of earthquakes all, in California, right? What town was it? Somewhere? There were like 20 of them, just all kinds of little
Really?
earthquakes. Then you see them happening up like in Montana, they're starting, even here up on the Navajo Nation. So it's like these little earthquakes are like really picking up right now. And but anyway, according to the USGS, a severe superstorm, solar superstorm, could create internet problems and, of course, electricity going down, all the communications kind of stuff. And the government seems to think the East, like the Midwest and the eastern states, will be affected by it more. I don't know why that is, but I didn't have time to research that. So what do
Sure.
you guys think about that? Is that likely, or?
Can you tell me what is a Carrington event?
It's, go ahead, Denise.
Oh no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so in the 1800s, there was this massive solar storm, like a solar ejection. And it knocked out all the, back then they had telegraphs and
Right.
stuff like that. And they all just basically like melted and didn't work.
Right.
Anything running with electrical impulses like that, the solar disrupts it so it doesn't work. And
So,
so,
but
Like an
I don't
EMP.
remember how many days.
yeah, it was
lasted,
like a massive EMP. Yeah, EMP explosion.
Okay.
But it stopped
Yeah.
the electrical.
And so-
but look, back then they didn't have much electrical stuff, so it was just telegraph
Right.
machines and things like
Okay.
that. So it wasn't as big of a deal. But yeah,
But it affected like train stuff, but it,
Right.
Scientists all wrote about this because it really did kind of, and Joy is absolutely right on. I have seen this too. That
Stephen
Stephen
Burns.
Burns is warning of a monster flare. And,
Right.
Who's Stephen
know-
Burns?
he's a geo guy, whatever. Yeah.
a geophysicist or astrophysicist or something. He's sort of a mix of spiritual and
Kinda new
that.
agey.
But he's interesting.
Yeah.
And but like Newsweek and some of these other magazines are all coming out with this now too, saying that this is very
Yeah.
possible. So they gave it a merit of 3 out of 10. I would put it more like 5 or 6. That's
Right.
me.
I haven't
Okay.
gotten any information about that happening. I did actually. That's not entirely, but okay. I had a dream, but it was right before there was an event that actually I think it was related to. I had a dream where I popped into this biker bar in the dream, and they were all staring. It was really weird, and they're all staring at like a blank screen. I'm like, what the fuck? And I started laughing, and then and it was like, and then I came out. I'm like, oh, that was weird. But it was like about electrical outages. The dream was a premonition about that. But then, like a few days later, there was that outage, an AT&T outage, and then the outage with like all those different outages. So I'm assuming it was that because it wasn't that dramatic. It was just kind of weird,
What
I had-
did it incapacitate every Harley Davidson in the world or something? I mean, what?
I don't know. I don't know why, but I thought it was funny in the dream. I actually laughed. It was very weird, but
And that's how I see it, as sort of a rolling things going in and out,
Right.
sort of thing, not
Probably.
like disrupting the entire planet or
agree.
something like that. I don't
I
see that.
agree. I don't see that either.
Rolling brownouts.
Yeah, or maybe
Yeah.
parts of the country losing, like blacking out
Okay.
for a period of time. I don't get the feeling. I haven't had dreams about everything just being shut down, but
Do we know when?
No,
No,
it wasn't
sometime in the
clear.
near future,
Keith.
Keith.
yeah.
Yeah, I just did these by years. Nobody could give like dates and exactly when
Right.
Right.
stuff. All right. This one, it got a credibility score of 6 out of 10, which was quite high.
Yeah.
Division
Casey.
Casey's warning 2026 that the United States would weaken through internal division, loss of unity, not the traditional pow-pow civil war, but rather institutional and societal collapse.
Well, that's
And
already
good
happened.
God, are we seeing
Isn't
that
that
right
happening
now?
right
Yeah, that's
now?
already
Oh, yeah.
happening.
Yeah, I give that a 2026 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right, that's already
But
happening.
interesting,
Wow.
that he did pinpoint this time frame. And
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
a lot of these all go into like 2025 and into like 2032. It seems like and it could just be what's available to us to know about what people were saying. But yeah, he's right on about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Then his
It's-
other one is for the major earth
I've
changes
seen that
start.
a lot. Yes. Hmm.
Long-term geophysical changes, earthquakes, flooding, coastlines changing.
Yeah, I've seen a map that I actually put on my Substack.
That is the map, right?
Yeah.
That's his map right there.
My map was like that and like this. So the this was gone too.
I
What was
have
gone?
PTSD from this map because I read Edgar Cayce when I was in middle school, and that map and the whole predictions about the inundation of California, and I was just quietly flipping out, and so I can't even look at that. I have PTSD.
So I've seen the map. So here's the U.S. with Florida. It's like Florida and the East Coast is kind of, so both coasts are actually completely covered in water.
Eroding.
Yeah,
Right,
they're not.
right.
It's the middle that's actually not. And I don't think,
Yes.
people said for a long time that there was going to be a massive earthquake and it was going to fall into the ocean. That was his prediction. I never thought that
No.
was going to happen.
No, I
gradual.
don't either.
It's the flooding from the water of all these of the Arctic, all the ice melting is what's going to do it.
Climate change.
Climate change. Yeah.
And like Helen had mentioned one of our shows too, there could be an earthquake along where the big Mississippi goes through
Right.
the
Right.
Yeah.
Which-
like
Oh,
which
yeah.
would create
Earthquakes
that
can
water
happen
area
anywhere.
there. Yeah.
yeah, and that
anywhere,
could be why
yeah.
the water is thicker there. Yeah, that's true. What were you going to say, Bove?
Deborah, well, I was gonna that bottom map, the what looked like a satellite image, is that the updated "I Am America" map?
No, this one's the
Whatever
Casey
happened
map.
to that map?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. I
It's I Am
vaguely
America
remember.
map.
It
In
was
the
a
90s, there was a map floating around. It was called "I Am America," and it
Yeah.
showed the erosion
Oh,
and the changes to the United States. And I remember waiting for an update on it, and when the image just passed, I recognized it, so I thought it might be the same map.
I see.
It might be similar to it, actually. Yeah, I remember that now that you bring it up. This came off of a Casey Facebook thing. I just took a
Right.
picture
Okay.
of what he was showing. But Joy says it's in process for sure. I agree.
Yep.
She says, I will be gone.
I'll be gone.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. It probably isn't going to
Yeah.
happen next year. But
Exactly.
yeah.
But,
But
it
maybe that's
definitely
only-
is.
Although I did hear something that might confirm some of that. There could be an escalation this coming year because
Yeah.
and into 2027 because there is, I guess, the biggest glacier that's in the
Iceberg, yeah.
process
Yeah.
of melting. And if that does melt and it's starting to, by 2027, there could be some massive problems on the
Yeah.
coastlines. So it may not be
I
that.
can't decide what to freak out about first.
Yeah, there's
Oh, well, just wait. There's more.
Wait, there's more!
Oh shit!
This one it gave a high merit to, but I think it's because some of this is in the Smithsonian, the accounts
Okay.
of it. I wasn't familiar with it at all. It's the Andean tradition from the Pachacuti. Pachacuti? I don't know. Anyway, it means world reversal, overturning of time, space, transformation, earth time, and things changing to set it right.
I think that's right.
That seems right on, and I think
It
people
does.
are going to be taking their power. I think well, and you said that in your videos to start setting things right because this stuff that's going on is just sick, so
Yeah,
sick
it
right
is.
now.
Yeah.
Kind of a diversion. I know we don't want a huge political show here, but these files, it just sickens me. Number one, just the evil of what is happening.
Yeah.
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 But the other
Is
part that
anybody
bothers
surprised?
me,
Well,
Huh?
some of it's, I mean, not really, but some of it is like way
Very
more
bad.
than you would think. I
It's
mean, like,
blatant. It is just blatant.
it's blatant.
It's out there.
I know.
Well,
It's
and
in
the
your
thing that
face now.
is so unsettling to me, yet I always suspected it, but it's very unsettling, is that there really is a small group. We think we are in a democracy and all that. That's such crap.
It
When
is,
you
yeah.
see through all of this that it's pretty much an inner circle worldwide of people that are manipulating everything.
Yeah. Autocracy.
And it has nothing to do with what the people want or anything else.
No.
And they're bound by this very sick, almost ritualistic thing.
It's
Yes.
like
they
having
are
sold
doing.
their souls to the devil to get where they are.
Yes.
I'm Kelly, I'm getting a tattoo that says "I told you so." My
You should put it here.
yeah, really. My son-in-law the other day said to my
I know we've heard that. You said that.
I'm telling you right now.
The audience has not.
Yeah,
People
right.
thought it was crazy. People thought it was absolutely paranoid and insane, and it's all
Happened. I know.
I didn't
Yep.
realize we were doing. I forgot that you mentioned predictions, and yesterday I started on this, and I've been doing a little video I'm going to make about the predictions I made 2 years ago and a year ago,
Right.
and checking off all the ones that came true.
Yeah.
I'm worn out checking things off.
I know.
Good.
Well, you know what?
No.
You know what? I don't know.
Joy is right.
It's
What
not
they're
just.
it's like stealing innocence.
Yes, it's disgusting, but it's not just that. I mean, it gets even weirder in some of that. So I don't know if you heard some of the other allegations in there of cannibalism.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yep.
I didn't hear that.
Yes, cannibalism. Yes, eating
Snuff-
people.
This is
snuff
really
Murdering
horrible.
people.
And I know
What
some
the
of those things go on because when I lived in Dallas, I mean, I couldn't wait to get out of Dallas. There was such nastiness.
Torturing.
Yeah, the Cowboys are in Dallas, right?
No,
Yeah.
rich people, really rich people.
Yeah, really
And-
wealthy people. Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't the Cowboys. It was they were fine. It was the very super wealthy involved in oil. Now maybe it's not like that way anymore, but I worked at this law firm, and all of us that worked there that were in our young 20s, 1920s, had to go to this tower, and there was some creepy old guy, and they expected us to have sex with all of these people.
Are you serious?
Yes. And it was like, no, I'm not. And I left, and another young lady left with me. But they expected, and the other one stayed and partied, and they got paid all kinds of money.
Wow.
And, I saw that routinely.
yeah.
And then and I finally quit that firm, and that's when I got involved in tech because I thought, if this is law, I want nothing to do with it. Because
Yeah.
I had done an internship as a court reporter at one time too, and it was just sick sitting there watching this. And young guys, marijuana was illegal back then. And
Right.
I'm watching them get thrown to prison, and then afterwards the judges and court reporters and staff inviting me to these parties where they're smoking the dope that they took from
They
these
took.
people that
The
they put in jail.
hypocrisy. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
it's- My God.
so I've known that this kind of stuff goes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel very insulated from that kind of thing now, but just reading what I did of how overwhelming and blatant this is all over
Yes.
the world, and how they control things like what happens in Gaza and all the people that have to suffer
Yes.
because of this,
Yep.
and how the earth is suffering.
Yes.
It just
Oh yeah.
it's
Interesting.
overwhelming to me, just the
Yes.
sheer volume of evil.
It is. It is. It's really disturbing. It's truly disturbing.
And I think
Yeah.
most people, the ones that actually look at this, and start to, I kind of like the bulwark, and that's what Sarah Longwell was talking about too.
Oh, I love
Just-
them.
Yes, and she was just like, oh, this is just so overwhelming. It's like, how do you
Yeah.
process this and what these people are doing behind closed doors? And we think we have this open government and democracy.
Yeah.
When
Right.
meanwhile, these kind of people are making all the decisions, and it
Yes,
just
and they
is
have been
so
for
repugnant
generations.
For, yes,
Yeah.
generations of this.
Yeah.
Millennia.
Yeah. Millennia. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, I love that show, and I'll tell you, you can tell a lot about people.
Oh, you have an
I wouldn't
orb?
necessarily.
You had an orb. Bove had an orb. Did you see the orb?
Where is it?
It was.
I
It
didn't.
left. It was. It went like right behind your head and then disappeared.
What were you thinking
Oh,
about?
wow.
What time is it right now? You'll have to
It's
look at
7
it.
7
o'clock,
o'clock.
straight up.
Okay. Well, you should look back. 7:01. It looks like 1:01. Check it on the video later.
On the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
we will.
wild.
I'll capture it, make like a little thing,
Yeah.
so you can see it. Wow.
Yay, I had something. I didn't use it, but I had it.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
agree. These can't. Yes, I totally agree. It's just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
repugnant.
I've been
So anyway,
researching the and do a video on it. Yeah.
But
Bad.
Pachacuti say things are going to turn around starting next year. People are going to say enough.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think it's gonna start this year, but yes, it's gonna start this.
now this
It's
one they gave a
building.
merit of 1 out of
Momentum is
10.
building. Okay.
And this-
timeline split, new age.
Handling community.
Yeah. So it just pulled a bunch of stuff from like videos and just the sheer amount of it. And a lot of metaphysical people are saying that there's going to be like this timeline split.
Yeah, that is not true. I mean that's sort of that same ascension bullshit. Excuse my language. Thing. That's just wishful thinking, in my opinion. And that's sort of part of
Keith, all people are evil.
Hey, speak for yourself.
We're not evil. Well, maybe we are. Maybe I've had my evil moments. Yes.
we all have a dark side, but most of us don't indulge it all the
Yes.
You must have gone
Exactly.
to Santa Barbara High School. That's what you said.
So anyway, that one got a merit of 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Here's another Baba Vanga for 2028, where
I think Venus travel will happen too. I've had dreams about being on Venus as well. Yeah.
yep, and also breakthroughs in energy. And I saw something. Was it in Finland, where they are transmitting electricity? They don't need lines or anything. It just was a story like in the past week in the science stuff, how they've come up with some kind of way to. And it's like, wow, this is really cool.
Is it like
another
the
thing.
thing? Is it the Tesla thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of a Tesla.
Coil kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got hello from New York. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
So, anyway, and also breakthroughs, like the Venus travel, breakthroughs in energy. I mean, and another thing, it's like the Western governors were all together a couple weeks ago, and they're really looking at geothermal energy, which, that seems plausible to me also. But then again, how much damage is going to be done with that too?
Right.
I'm not sure what I think about it, but these things are out there.
I have
So-
a question about this, though. Maybe you guys have a different take on it, but how can it be both true?
Thank you, Joe. You saw it too.
Feeling right there. How can it be true, both things predicted for the future, that everything is going down into, a spiral?
I was just going to answer that question before you asked it. I
Oh,
literally
good.
had it.
Answer it. Yes.
Okay. So Baba
Let me remove
Vanga,
this so we can see you. Okay.
I think she's right. Baba Vanga talked about, and I think I brought it up last summer, that there was a there's a turning point, a decision point, and either we were going to go completely sort of off the rails and basically go extinct, or we were going to go into this future where there was space travel and we go into the stars, and it was going to be this turning point of last year. And I think we maybe chose the wrong one.
I agree with you. I agree. I hate to be.
And that's, I mean, I think that's, so both of these visions of the future are kind of like possible potentials. Like I said, I had dreams about being on Mars, on Venus, but there's also the other possibility, which is very dark and cataclysmic. I don't think they're both this. I think they're two different possible futures.
Yeah.
And we basically collectively went down the dark one, I think.
Yeah, I don't see how we can go into that more positive, futuristic, optimistic future with the people that are controlling the reins of power right now.
We can't.
I just don't see how that
No,
can
there's no way. No.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
I think that's part of why there is all this is coming out and why we're about to go through a lot of shit because of it. Yeah.
So this is more from there were so it pulled a whole bunch of blogs from Christian, more evangelical prophecy. So Casey was more like, he wasn't focused so much on violence. He was talking more about institutional and societal collapse.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the evangelical people are warning about violence.
I think that, yep.
And, one of the notes that came up through some of the sociology things is, look at how influential they are. So it's kind of like, it can, antagonize people into.
Right. I think that you have to think about how much control they have and how much power in the culture they have. And I think a lot of this stuff is about collective decisions we make. You know what I'm saying? And whoever has control of the mic kind of starts to steer the collective consciousness. So there's multiple possible, just like in your life, do you marry this person? Do you marry that person? Do you get this job? We collectively as a unit have decisions to make, and having people in power, like you're saying, they're really dark. We're going down a dark road because of that. We collectively have this evangelical, really kind of Armageddon kind of death cult thing happening, and they're violent and they embrace violence and they love violence, and so they will manifest violence.
And they're well prepared
exactly.
for it. They've been preparing for it.
Yeah.
Joy, I agree with you, and I'll tell you something. My take on it is, I was saying earlier, I was watching The Bulwark, and they were talking about Alex Preddy being murdered. They all started to cry. Yep. And I thought, wow, that tells you an awful lot about people. These are supposed to be hard-boiled journalists, right? These people have a heart. I think it's going to take phalanx after phalanx after phalanx of people, and the people in the front are going to fall, and then the next layer are going to fall. And what is going to save us is how many layers can we put up to defend the right? Because, and I don't mean the right wing,
right.
The light, the
freedom,
good. Right. We're going to have to exercise a long-term, forceful insistence on it.
Yes.
I don't want to use the word battle, but insistence on it, and it's going to have to happen now. And I think some of the people that might be that front line, they're starting to rise, and I think you're seeing it in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a little teeny tiny bit of it in some of the people in Congress. There are a lot of middle level judges who are just not having this, and they're doing the right thing, but constantly being voted down by higher courts, and Congress is constantly being voted down by
the majority.
Yeah. Right. And it's going to require consistent effort on our part. I hope we don't give up.
Part of the problem, I think, is this ignorance. That's because so many of us are like so entrenched in our belief system that we refuse to read. And that's why if I go on Facebook, some of what people are saying, it just blows my mind. It's like, what?
Like what?
You're in a completely different reality.
Yeah.
But they refuse to read court documents, they just know. And it's just like, oh, that's just fake. Instead of like trying to acknowledge what is really going on. And this is the problem, I think, in our news and everything else. It's like, oh, well, it's just AI, it's not real. Or,
Right.
you know what I mean? And so
Listening
there's
to these
just this
things.
this intentional blindness.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why
for
I
sure.
get
And
so mad about the whole Epstein thing, is because maybe the specific details of specific people are new that we're hearing about now, but
Yeah, right. But it's all been out there.
type of crime
Yes.
has been out there in the public
Yes.
since the early
Day one.
90s.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people have known about it. That guy got a sweetheart deal and in Florida, and was settled for made a plea deal for like a misdemeanor when he should have been in the federal lockup for life for felony
Yes.
trafficking.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
well, and then these
and we
people
know
all
about it.
right, and these people that knew about it still doing business with them, still,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yes.
oh, can I go to your island and have and party with, it just, it's
Yeah.
so like
It's interesting. There's also a series of
you can't
movies-
even scrape the guck off. It is so
No.
disgusting.
It is. There have been
Well,
a
I
series.
have.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, hon.
There has been a series of movies that came out in the last 10 years about all of this kind of stuff, like the super wealthy, cannibalism. They're
Eyes
all
Wide
horror
Shut, for
films.
example.
Oh,
weird.
that's a long time,
Yeah.
a much older one. But there's one where these girls go to this island thinking they're going with these nice guys, and they're raped and poisoned, and all these horrible things happen. And there's just been this series of this is out. Like, people know this on some level. That these are horror films, and they're
Yeah.
coming out and they happen, on some level we know. And because if it's in the zeitgeist, this is not, so that was my point. Sorry, Bove, what were you going to say? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, this is something that I noticed a couple of days ago. I saw a photograph of, it was on the Midas Touch network, and it was just images of the faces of those that are attached to these Epstein files.
Oh my God.
And I'm looking at this, and I thought to myself, 95% of these men are white.
Mm-hmm.
And then my
Shock.
mind went right to, shock, exactly.
Right.
Well, son of a bitch. There's a few brown people, a few Arabs, but the majority of the conglomerate is your wasps or whatever. And that just struck, it won't leave my mind
Right.
that, because, and the flip side of that coin is that belief system, that whole prejudicial belief system that white is right.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, this is disgusting. This is just freaking disgusting.
About power.
I can't get it out of my eyes.
Right.
I think that's why in my vision thing that I started out with, everybody was multiracial. There was no race anymore. And
Right.
it's like,
thought
that
was
would solve a
interesting.
lot of problems,
Yeah.
Oh, that's their worst
Nightmare.
nightmare.
Hey, Dorothy, George Carlin was right.
He was right about a lot of things.
Denise is an incredible psychic. After the 24 election, she's the only psychic I'll listen to.
Right on, Denise.
Let's
John
see.
DeCamp.
Crystal Blue. Oh, hey.
The Franklin
John
cover.
DeCamp.
Yeah.
It was
Wrote
sickening.
about this stuff back in the 80s. I think the book was called The Franklin Cover-Up. It was sickening. You're right.
Wow.
A lot of
I
us
don't
have known about this for many, many years, and it's just...
What is that book about? I've never heard of it. Have you?
It started out with the FBI
The Franklin
investigating
cover-up.
a guy called Larry, who's the famous TV guy who died?
Larry
He wore
King, was
suspenders.
it?
Larry King.
Larry
Larry
King?
And there was this man.
Yes.
No. Yes,
Not Larry.
There was an African American man named Larry King who was like the head of this bank or a savings and loan. And it was a cover for all this Epstein-like stuff and also money fraud. And in the course of investigating it, uncovered like this whole network of kidnapping.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to say the words. I don't want to get Deborah in trouble with YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
All the worst of what we've heard about the Epstein was all going on, and it was things like auctioning off the youngs on a stage with the price around their neck, and you know, just unbelievable. You know, all those paper boys who disappeared in was it Iowa or Nebraska or someplace? Remember Johnny? Oh, you don't know this? Okay, well, we have to talk about that. There was a whole string of paperboy disappearances, and they were, you know, they had a shopping list, and they would go out looking for kids that
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Helen.
That's it, Helen.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Larry King of the savings and loan, or Larry King of the show, because they're two different people.
Yeah.
It looks like she's talking about the black man that you were speaking of.
Isn't that weird? That's weird. I didn't know that.
Good
really
tip,
weird.
Crystal Blue. Thank you. Good comments. Thank you, guys. Okay, so our next one.
Oh, yeah.
This one gets a merit of 1 out of 10,
according
to academia, modern prophecy, all over the internet. And I had like lists of like URLs. I got
someone tell me this. Yeah.
Physically implausible?
At a planetary scale. Yeah, it's like if we'd have like an immediate ice age. Everything would if everything is like black, it makes no sense. But there's a lot of this out there that it would be like this blackness, and then this light comes and people go into the fifth dimension or whatever. And it's like,
well, you know what? I didn't interpret it. I interpreted it the wrong way, and I wonder if that's intentional from, you know, I thought it meant like an internet blackout globally.
It could be that. That is possible. Definitely. Yeah. But not like black, like dark.
Right.
No, like telecommunications would go out. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
We can only hope.
Helen, did you see this comment? Crystal is confirmed. Yeah. Same guy.
He sang at some. That's just at the GOP convention. That's even better. Oh my God.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Right.
Oh my God. You can't make
all
these
right, here comes
up.
2029 Apophis. And Apophis is definitely coming, but according to calculations, it's not going to hit the planet. That's what science says. But mostly from the religious things, they're calling it wormwood and that kind of thing. And it's going to create tremendous damage. So the merit thing gave science a 9 out of 10 and religion basically a 12 out of 10.
That's another one of these things, though. Like, I just was looking through my journals and I found a dream I had where I was an asteroid in the dream hurtling towards this is crazy. I had this dream
cool.
I feel the impact.
I love it.
I had this dream like it was probably maybe it was an old one that I forgot about, again, through the dream journals. It was some kind of like 6 or 7 years ago. It was a long time ago. But I was this asteroid hurling towards the Earth, and I hit the Earth, and it was like, and there was this and that's another thing we talked about. You had that thing where the skies are grayed out, and I've seen that, the ash, but that could be caused from an asteroid impact too.
Yeah, like a nuclear night kind of thing. Like Krakatoa did that.
Exactly.
Joy, it's a death cult, Joy. Well, think about this. George Carlin was right. George Carlin, my favorite joke of his was that if Christ had been alive today, all the Christians would have a little electric chair around their neck. and it's a death cult. And
it is a death cult. Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
so I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I had that dream, and I thought it's not something I sit up worrying about at night, though, like an asteroid hitting them. Yeah.
I think we're going to be able to see it. It'll be very cool to look at because it's supposed to come really close. But
and
anyway,
2029. That's when that's happening.
Let's see. Science gives a 9 out of 10. That is going to be a close flyby. You know,
right?
The religion, the merit claims like, it's the end of the world. It's wormwood. the
I mean,
merit based on academia is a 2 out of 10 because there's a
and
chance it could hit.
there's a chance, but I mean, I could have also been having the dream about this possible, that just about the asteroid itself, the potential, not that it was really going to, you know what I mean? So I don't give
Or
it,
like some, Crater Canyon not far from here. I bet
Right.
that's where that asteroid hit.
I'm
Probably
sure.
killed the dinosaurs.
Right.
So it's a cool experience to go there in their like shop. You get to like be an asteroid. It's really cool. So you
That-
stand, so your
You
dream
do?
is like, and so
Oh, that's weird.
in your dream thing, what you're saying, so you
Oh
stand
yeah, I
in
was
this
an
thing,
asteroid.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so you stand in this thing, and it like makes all this sound, and it like shakes in there, and you're like this asteroid, and you're like pelting through, and you
Wow.
like
Oh,
come
that's
towards it. Or it is so cool. So it's like $5. You
That's
could
a
go
good dream.
at least when I went there, and get to be an asteroid. And
Well, I got that experience in my dream. So
yeah, maybe you were tuning into an experience that someone
Maybe.
like me had there.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I don't know.
if you're ever on I-40, it is so well worth going to. It's a cool thing. I work with those people out there. It's very cool.
That's cool.
So another 2029, they gave this a merit of 7 out of 10. It's the singularity that Ray Kurzweil was saying
Right.
will happen by 2029.
Yeah. I've heard
I
it
have
being-
my doubts about that, but
Right.
what do you think?
I've heard people say it sooner, but I don't know either because I feel like, well, I think there's going to be a lot of fallout from AI. But I'm not sure if it's. I haven't had dreams about machines and other than that one dream where it was an AI vehicle with a nuke on it.
Right.
I haven't had tons of like dreams about Terminator style dreams or whatever. So I don't know. I can't really.
Reaching that level, I personally think that there are going to be too many environmental constraints for this to go
Yeah, that
all
makes
out.
sense. That
Like
makes
the
sense.
power and the water is just not going to be there to get to the level that some of
I
these
think
people
you're right.
have talked about.
That's why they want to
So
invade Greenland.
that,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's not going to happen. I think it'll be thwarted. I think you're right. That's my intuition about it. It will. Their plans will be thwarted. This may be the plan, but I'm not sure that it's going to happen.
yeah.
I get
It's just
that.
going to take too much power. That
makes
so
sense.
this guy, Werner Vinge, was a computer scientist, mathematician, and he also wrote sci-fi. And the merit for him, he's passed, what was it, 2018 or so? I don't remember when he died. But anyway, he was, back years ago talking about this, and he said that we wouldn't be able to predict human behavior anymore because we cannot understand minds that are greater than human comprehension. And
Right.
so he's been saying this probably as long as Kurzweil or whatever his name is. But
Right.
anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting. So he gave it at 2030, the other one 2029.
Right.
This is the one that had the highest threshold merit.
Wow, 8
and
out
it
of
comes,
10.
yeah, it comes to the United Nations about climate change.
Right.
Now, they don't say specifically 2030, but they're saying late 2020s, 2030s.
Right.
That's where we hit the point of no return.
Yeah, we've already
We
hit
don't
it.
do anything about
Already
it.
hit
I agree with you.
We already hit one of them. One of the markers. Yeah.
So, they had a really good, I'd put it on Western Water and posted it around about how there's such a severe groundwater shortage right now. That's affecting people don't realize how serious this water situation is.
Yeah, I know.
And it's,
Very.
I hope this doesn't, I don't know which one, all of the above, Joy.
All of them.
Yeah, mine was too. Yeah.
She says, this one's true, I think. I think she's talking about the climate change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely there. It's like, here, we're in the 60s, and you have snowstorms out there where you are at, and it's just completely, like, upside down world.
Yeah,
It's
is. Yeah.
totally twisted.
Totally.
So, all right, so what do you guys think? Those are, like, popular theories going on. Do you think overall it's accurate, or what are your thoughts?
I think all of them have potential. The potential is there for all of them. With current world administrations and world governing, the darker sides have a higher percentage of happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
just my thought and my feeling.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
your turn, Helen. What's your overall thought about?
Well, I kind of see it this way. It's like there's a finish line, and I'm racing towards it personally, and the end of the world and I are neck and neck. And it's anybody's bet who's going to get there first. Frankly, I hope it's me.
Right.
I think there's 100% chance of almost all of the negative stuff happening because we're not doing anything to stop it.
That's right.
Well-
No, you're right. And we haven't for years, and we've known this is where it was going. I agree. We've had plenty of warning about this. Now, the one thing I don't think is going to happen for sure. I mean, the Days of Darkness thing, like if it was talking
Yeah.
about a world blackout thing, okay, maybe if there was some kind of weird.
Well, let me interrupt you. If the asteroid hit the Earth, then you'd have your Days of Darkness.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
I agree.
However, it wouldn't be darkness. It would be like a gray cloud. It wouldn't be
When
blackout.
Krakatoa went off, they had actual nuclear
Keith
knives.
wants to know where you're from, Helen.
Where's she's from Ireland?
He calls you Grandma.
I'm from
He does call you
Ireland.
girl.
That's why she's
She's from
Irish
Ireland,
granny.
Keith. That's why she's Irish Granny.
But
Yeah.
my family emigrated when I was little and I was raised in Santa Barbara. And I still want to know what high school you went to. Tell a lot about somebody.
He keeps mistakenly thinking that you live up here by Deborah and I, Helen. And I'm
Oh,
telling him
Arizona,
no.
I don't tell anybody where I live. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. That's all I'll say.
That's that's perfect.
Yeah.
yeah. So
We're on week 7 of rain, by the way.
that's a lot.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
But the one I really don't think is gonna is
Oh, hi
actually
HBH. Haven't seen you a
that was
while.
marked for a day or so. So maybe it is.
Yeah,
the
the ash could do that, definitely.
asteroid could do it because
Yeah.
we have also seen that. But the thing I don't think is possible at all is that one where the timelines diverge thing, because that doesn't have any kind of. There's just no. I just don't see any historical precedent for anything, or even any real scientific precedent for it. And I don't think there's any. It's just I think that's just wishful thinking that some people are going to be. It's sort of the new age version of it, like being
It's the
taken.
rapture. It's the
It's the
worst
rapture
It's the rapture.
repackaged as new age stuff.
Yeah.
I don't.
Then
I don't.
again, though, like that weird time thing that I went through talking to my mother,
True.
that's not in this reality, and yet I can prove it and
Yeah, but
through
that's
phone
different.
records. But I guess that's not a time. It's probably a
That-
parallel real. I don't know what
Deborah,
it is.
stay tuned. I'm doing a book in a couple of weeks. It's you're coming on my channel and you're going to talk
Yep.
about this because yes, it's exactly. Yeah.
Well, that I've had that experience too, but that's like a time anomaly. I feel like that's somehow to do with, in my experience, time anomalies happen after a lot of contact with like interdimensional kind of being
Mhm.
type stuff. It's like a wormhole kind of like it's like
Yeah.
a warp, but to
UFO contact. people
Yes,
have a long
stuff like
time.
that.
Yeah,
but to sustain a complete split,
Right, and
into
for
two-
all of society, no.
that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I kind of, that vision thing I went through on Saturday, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's a prediction,
Right.
but I think I was
Good.
tapping into some kind of a reality. I do think I was,
Yeah.
because
I'm
it was so real.
real. Yes.
If anyone in the audience knows what a purple flower means,
Yeah.
it was
I
very,
know.
very
What kind of purple
important.
flower was it? What
So it depends on what kind of spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, AI said it represented enlightenment and
Yeah.
a different kind of spirituality, which if this is like future Earth, for some reason I keep getting 2300. I don't know what that's about. It's just my mind probably, but it comes, so I'll say that.
right.
But it was so interesting to see how number one, there was no religion there other than this purple flower was like this thing.
Right.
People would meditate before whatever it was.
It's like a lotus,
Yeah, like a
That's
lotus.
Yeah, it
what
was
I'm
like a
thinking,
lotus,
lotus.
and the image I tried to create, it was like a lotus and a rose and some other things, just like it was
All
not
together.
typical of what we see now. Then,
Right.
but the fact is, and what was so strange about that, how they would find like journals or people's like scrapbooks and stuff like that was very interesting to them, because it was like, oh, this is like history, because there
Right.
weren't phones, there weren't cars, it was none.
Right.
It was
Technology.
very
is-
communal and
Right.
clean and artsy. The people were very artsy.
Yeah.
And the multiracial, there was no race. It was
Right.
everybody was
Well, there
like
is no
together.
race.
But I knew during that this was not where I was supposed to be. I just got to see it. Maybe it's a message of hope. I don't know. It was very interesting. Whatever
Well, I
it
think
was.
that if we did have some kind of an apocalyptic event, which I think we are headed for, then in multiple different ways, there would be a few people that would survive. That's kind of what the book that
Yeah.
I wrote a long time ago was sort of based on this vision I had about a group of communal people living and kind of working together.
Mhm.
And I've had that multiple times throughout. It's just like there will be pockets of humanity,
Yeah.
not a lot of people, and there'll be some technology that survives, but not all of it.
I think you're right,
Yeah.
Joanne.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very neat,
Well,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Deborah, there are people who believe that
And it will be new. I think there'll be a
every
renewed
potential
sexuality.
future is happening at the same time, and you can just sort of tap into it.
That might be what it was, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
think-
still, I
I
was
think
saying that
you're right.
before you came on, Helen. It's still in my aura. I'm like aware of it right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was even like, walking around the buildings and stuff here. I could like see them in this time. What
Right.
it's
Oh,
like.
wow.
It's very, very weird.
No, I
to
think
experience
probably.
that.
I think it's probably you're seeing another. I think. Look, where we're headed is. This is a reaping period. Like this is a lot of change and a lot of endings, but any one of these things is going to basically whittle down the population to a very
Yeah.
small group, and I think what comes on the other side of this is people working together and also losing all that ridiculous control shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all this. I mean, if you think about native cultures or indigenous cultures where people work together and they were communal, they had to work together and you couldn't get away with cannibalism on the side and,
Right.
trading other people. You were accountable. Every person was accountable to everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's how humanity functions best. And if you have organized around a spiritual principle like enlightenment and nurturing your divine spark, I think that's what this is all about, clearing out all this detritus, all this dark shit, so that something positive, so the earth can heal and we can reboot and everything.
The universe has a
Yeah.
sense of humor and a dark sense of humor. Look at those two people who died, who were murdered in Minnesota.
Yes.
Pretty
And good.
good, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
what did their deaths do? Their deaths woke up a whole lot of
A lot of
I
people.
think.
Yeah.
And that would be one of the reasons why I obsess so much on my channel about all the bad things that are happening. I keep thinking, if people really understood, if people could really get the message that what they're doing to children in these detention centers, what they're doing to families, if maybe somebody will hear that and wake up, and if enough people realize, I think their deaths did that in a big way.
I think that's the unfortunate
Yeah.
thing about human nature
Yeah.
is that people don't listen to people telling you that. They only listen when something happens and they're faced
To
with it.
them.
head on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like seeing somebody being murdered is traumatic. And that woke people up. Seeing this
George
happen.
Floyd didn't wake enough people up.
Oh, but it did
No,
it did
that
wake
was
some people up.
horrible.
Yeah, it
Woke
was
some up.
horrible. It woke some people up.
How quickly it kind of faded.
I know.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But
Bo,
it's
can
to
I
me
ask you
these.
something?
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
babe.
Well, no, this is stupid. Can you hold up that cup? It looks
Oh.
like you're having a gigantic tequila sunrise.
It's a 50-ounce thermal
Wow.
cup.
Tequila, grenadine.
It's ice and water. It's what I tote through the house.
Oh, sure. That's what you're telling us. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Well, it's so good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Me too.
And I'm
This
so
was
glad you're
good.
safe, Denise. I was really worried about what was going on out your way. It was like,
Oh, that's
holy
sweet.
smokes.
Yeah, I
all
know.
that ice.
I know it was pretty crazy. We got really lucky, I have to say.
How cold did it get?
Well, it was below zero with the wind chill.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like 10 degrees, like 15 degrees, and that was like for a week, and that's very weird for here. I mean, it's normally in the 50s here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was really, people just couldn't deal with it, But it wasn't that so much. It was that the fact that there was the rain, it turned into ice.
Ice.
That
Yeah.
shut down all the
Yeah.
grid, that like destroyed all these power grid, all this
Oh,
infrastructure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's heavy and it breaks trees and it
That's
caves
right.
in
That's what happened.
roofs and
Exactly.
it's dangerous. It's so
Yes.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not just cold. Yeah.
No, yeah, that was the real problem there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't go away for a week because it
Are you
was,
thawing out now?
yeah, it rained today. It was like 50 degrees. So that's the normal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's just schizophrenic.
Yeah, totally.
I think next couple weeks we might finally get some snow again. So
Good.
yeah. So
Is it hot
Dylan and I are going to work on, in a couple weeks up this way.
Right.
And we desperately need it. So
Oh,
this
that's
weekend,
good.
Dylan and I are finishing my roof project,
That's
So
good.
that'll be done and then I'll be set for that. But we desperately need the snow out west because the water situation is not good at all.
Yeah. I remember you telling
So-
me that. Yeah, that's scary.
Like
Yeah,
my
if we
little
don't get
pocket
snow
where I
in the
live is
mountains.
okay, but yeah, it's very serious.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
But anyway, and all the folks that joined us in the chat, our regulars and new people, thank you so much. It's just good to see everybody. So
We love
I
cheering
enjoy it.
everybody up.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. We're real
But you know
straight,
what? Just getting together, though, it just feels good to know that there are like-minded people. We can talk
Yes.
about it. We can comment
Yeah.
about it. One of these days, you guys will call because you could even call and talk. But it just helps to do that. It makes you feel a little more sane.
Yes.
when with all the madness going on around you.
That is very insane.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, this
Oh.
is not how I planned on spending my golden years. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But anyway, well, thank you guys so much for coming on to the show. Any
Yeah.
ideas what you want to talk about next Wednesday, or leave it up to me? I'll find something weird.
Yeah, whatever you want. I
Let
mean,
me think about it.
Okay. Thank you,
Much
Crystal.
love, ladies.
Thank you
It's a
so
new
much, Joy.
vibration,
We love
Crystal,
you.
through persuasion.
Okay.
It's-
And so
Yeah.
Saturday, provided I don't get another turning on fire thing again and falling asleep and going to another
I'm
world.
there.
We've got the Paranormal Highway Part 2 of
that
Maine.
darn kissing disease.
I didn't even get to have any fun getting it. Probably got it from someone's beer bottle in the dorm is where it
Probably.
came from.
probably. Yeah.
So Laura, thank you. So see you guys next Wednesday, and for those that want to join us Saturday, we'll see you then too.
All right.
Bye. Thank
everyone.
you. Love
Bye.
y'all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us. We love hearing your stories, so tell your friends so they can join the party. For show notes and our forum of high strangeness, visit cosmicfold.com. Remember, Cosmic Fold airs live on Wednesday and Saturday nights, so be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to know when we're on air. Thanks again and have a great evening.